Hey guys, I'm back with a video that I have been wanting to film for a really long time. I just haven't been able to actually sit down and do it. And it is going to be my top 5 makeup brushes. I am going to include an honorable mention or two, but these are the ones that are my must-haves. I think I've done some makeup brush videos before on my favorites, so you would have seen them probably then or some of them. And if you watch me regularly, then these are no surprise to you. So, and these span drugstore to super high-end to some in between. So probably my top, I can't rate them because I love them all, but two Real Techniques brushes are definitely my favorites. The first one being the, what is this one called? The Domed Shadow Brush. This comes in an eyeshadow kit, and most people use this as eyeshadow, and then well, obviously you can, but I think maybe the Pixie Woo sisters were the ones that suggested using it as a under eye concealer brush. I don't use it that way. I have, but this is what I use to apply my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Redness corrector on my rosacea patches on my cheeks. Because of the bristles, I guess they're synthetic. They're really good for cream products, but something about this applies it so effortlessly. It makes it go on seamlessly. It blends into the skin. It looks pretty natural. It applies just the right amount. I absolutely love it. And I will buy the kit again just for this brush. All the other brushes in the kit, I guess I've purged because I don't even remember what comes in the kit. But this one is so worth it. And then another brush that comes in a kit actually as well. You could buy both of these kits if they were doing like a buy one get one half off at Ulta. And I mean, you'd be happy with just these. And this is the Contour brush, but I actually use this for my foundation. I have a lot of redness and stuff to cover up, so I like a brush that's fairly dense and firm, but I don't want it to be so dense and firm that it moves the product around too much. I want it to kind of stay where I'm putting it, but just blend it out a little bit, if that makes sense. Like the longer bristle brushes that some people use for foundation, I don't find they really work for me because I do need it to give really good coverage. Like the Sigma F80 foundation brush, I do like it, but I find it just moves the foundation, or it disrupts the Bye Bye Redness a little too much, if that makes sense. And I know this is a smaller brush, but it doesn't take like forever to blend it out or anything, so it is just hands down my favorite foundation brush. These two I have to have. Okay, then we'll kind of go into the middle range. And this is my favorite eye brush. I've had this brush at least 10 years, if not more. It is the MAC 239, and it is just a very short, I guess you could almost say kind of a paddle brush, and it is squeezed so tightly in there that if you wanted to use the tip of the brush, you could use it to line your lower lash line. You could even use it to kind of line, like smudge out your upper lash line. But what I really like this for is packing on eyeshadow product, powder product on your lid. I have never been able to achieve as like dense, opaque eyeshadow look as you can with this. Most lay down kind of just like a very, you know, kind of sheer, moderately opaque eyeshadow. And I mean, they do it pretty well. And I've used so many eyeshadow brushes. But this one, if you want your eyeshadow to look how it does in the pan and be very opaque, use this. I absolutely love it. If I had to pick one eyeshadow brush that I had to purchase, it would be this one. I mean, you could blend it out that way if you really wanted to. I mean, I wouldn't, but you could. But this, if you want a good shadow brush and you're unfamiliar, please pick this one up. Okay, my next favorite brush, and this is definitely on the higher end, it's the Chanel Powder Contour number 2. And I love everything about this brush. Is it super soft? No. Is it like a little scratchy? Yes. I was a little disappointed at first when I felt it because I guess I assumed for the price and everything being Chanel that it would be super duper soft. But I love this for applying my bronzer. I don't really do like a contour thing, but I'll apply it like this. I'll apply it like that. I do it up here, and it just almost blends out the product itself. Something about the density and the way it is, I absolutely love it. It is just, I mean, it's my favorite for that product. And I love my bronzer and everything. I wear it every day, even in the dead of winter. So I really love this. Now I will say, if you know of a maybe softer version, but it's very comparable, let me know. And same goes with, well, those two. I don't know if a softer version of this would pack product on as well. You know what I mean? But you know, I'd be up for trying another foundation brush, but I don't know if one could replace it. But I wouldn't mind a softer version of this. Okay. For number 5, I have to say it's a tie. And it's not that I'm trying to be, you know, douchey and sneak extras in, but it's just really hard to decide between these two. Okay, this is the MAC 217, which I will show you in comparison to the 239 so you can see the difference. The 239 is way denser and packed on. Now you could use this to apply eyeshadow on your lid, but it would be a very like sheer light look, which is not bad. And you can use this to blend out colors if you want. But what I like to use this to do is to stamp color on the outer corner. I'm not an eyeshadow pro, and I know some people do like those really, you know, small crease brushes to do that, or they do a pencil brush or whatever. But this, if I just get the product on there and then I stamp it like that and then just blend it like that, it makes it work so well. It's effortlessly, I can do it. You know, I don't have the best eyeshadow skills. And so something about maybe the length of the bristles and how dense they are, I don't know, it just works perfectly for that. So I like to have this, but that's not a look that I do all the time. So, I mean, this is my favorite, but I like it for that. And that's the only reason I really use that brush, if that says anything. And then next up is the Sigma Tapered Blending E40. It's very similar to the MAC 224, but it's a little bit larger. And that's why I like this, is my blending out shade or your transition shade. I don't use this for like a super dark crease look or anything. And I know some people may not like this large of a brush there, but I like it because I have hooded lids, and if I put a dark shade like into the socket, then it just gets kind of stuck there and I can't blend it out. So I like to use this for one of those, you know, like matte kind of warm browns to just, you know, do a little transition there. And that's why I like this shape, because it's just perfect for that. Now, if you know of like a Japanese equivalent to this that's a little softer, because it isn't the softest brush, but it's not like a make it or break it to me. But I'm always up for hearing your suggestions. And like with all of these videos, I want you to tell me what your absolute favorite brushes are. So anyways, I really, really like this. And then I do have 2 honorable mentions, and the reason I'm putting them in here is you'll see. Okay, this one is so new to my collection that I can't put it in my top 5, but it's the Wayne Gauss 02 brush. And I like to use this to set my under eye powder. That's my under eye concealer, I'm sorry, with powder. I could live without this brush because it's not like an essential. I could just use a powder brush to do that, but I absolutely love it, and it's so new, so I feel kind of, you know, terrible including it in as far as a top 5 brush, but I do really like it. And this is what spurred me on to asking for suggestions of other brushes, because I've liked this one so much that I'm just a little more curious about some of the Japanese brushes. And then lastly, because it's not a brush, but I have to say, the Beauty Blender for your under eye concealer. I don't use it for foundation. It doesn't give me enough coverage, but I absolutely love it for my under eye concealer. So I had to mention it because those are the products that are like my hands down favorites, essentials if I ran out of all my makeup brushes. I mean, I could use this for powder and blush if I really needed to. I wouldn't want to, but I could. So those are my absolute favorites that I just cannot live without. Like, I can purge the other ones and keep those in the collection, where other things, I have ones that I'm not especially tied to a powder brush. I have two blush brushes that I really like, and like for a little brush for up there. I don't have a specific one. I don't have, you know, really other ones for other things that are like absolute must-have. So that is all. Let me know what your absolute must-have brushes are, because I would definitely be open to checking them out. I'm not a brush snob. I mean, I definitely have enjoyed the Wayne Goss brush, and I do love the Chanel brush. But as you can see, I have some Real Techniques brushes that are my absolute faves as well. So I will let you guys go, and I will talk to you later. Bye.